Welcome back to Life Beyond Bunions. Today we're sharing some amazing news for bunion sufferers about a new form of surgery that could have you back on your feet the day after surgery, using techniques that are virtually pain-free for the vast majority of patients. Some patients just have one bunion, but many have two. You've heard the expression, put your best foot forward. Well, for those people who have two bunions, that's a loaded phrase. The patients we're about to meet, like many others, had bunion surgery on one foot. Then they came back for more. Please welcome Teresa Carrara. Teresa, you were a ballet dancer. Now, do you think that was causing a lot of the pain in your feet?
Probably it built up over the years, but I learned to live with it, and I was used to the way my feet were. And as a dancer, you don't want to change your feet because it's so important how you hold a position or turn or jump or leap. You don't want your feet to change. It's all very important to a dancer to keep that.
Did the bunions actually cause you to back out of ballet?
Not necessarily, no.
Just you had so much pain, you decided to have the surgery.
Ultimately, yeah, for years I still continued to dance because that was my favorite form of workout, and this is what I really enjoyed doing. And so that's why I put off having the procedure done, thinking that, you know, I wouldn't be able to do this anymore. This is something I really love, and I want to be able to do it just as well in the same way I did before. So.
Okay. Now you've had both feet done.
Yes.
Now, how far in between on both feet?
I had the left foot done last year and the right foot done about a month after that.
A month after?
Yes. The left one was the worst, and then the right after that.
Right. And now when you say worst, that was your worst foot?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have to do a little research. What made you pick Dr. Moy?
I think the referrals from friends and people that I trusted, because believe me, I'm a skeptic, and I was very nervous about deciding to go through with it. I had lived with the way my feet looked for years, and then finally said, you know, now they're becoming too painful to deal with. And I said, I really need to have this done. And I think that the referral from friends and hearing other success stories made me feel comfortable going forward with it. Then I met Dr. Moy, and that convinced me.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing.
Life was better.
Yes.
And the pain, did you feel anything?
No pain whatsoever.
Really?
I think that's part of why it was so easy to go back. Is that, you know, you hear all the horror stories and you think, oh, this is going to be a horrible recovery and I'm not going to be able to do anything the way I did before. And I really went in for the procedure Thursday morning both times and was back at work Monday without any problems. So I was very pleased.
How soon did you get back into ballet?
I had the second surgery done in October, and I was back at the ballet bar in January.
Oh, so. Congratulations.
And I was very nervous. I went to class and I thought, if they don't work the same as they did before, I'll be very disappointed.
Right, because there's a lot of toe usage.
Balance and holding positions and things, and you want your double pirouette back. You don't want to lose it. So.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
So, I really enjoyed it.
That's great. Now, you know, I don't want to embarrass you. I mean, I'm very proud that you're standing and doing ballet on both feet. But we'd like to show a before and after photo. Okay, do you mind?
I don't mind.
Okay. We'll look back here on the screen. We'll see a before picture. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Shouldn't have put it off.
And then the after photo. Not only are you pain-free, but you have a beautiful foot now.
I am very pleased.
Right?
Yes, very pleased with the results. And relatively no scarring. I think we were talking earlier. And
you can show off your pretty feet and wear the pretty sandals.
Yeah,
and
it's
exactly.
and
wonderful.
I can still do a double pirouette. So.
Very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, what about other athletes who tax their feet to the max? Let's bring out our next guest and find out. Please welcome marathon runner Jeannie Perry. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi.
A marathon runner.
Yes.
Goodness, that's a long haul.
Yeah, 26.2.
Now, when you were running, were you feeling a lot of pain? Is that what made you do the surgery?
Well, I would be in a lot of pain. I've always been active, and I'd come home at the end of the day, and my feet would be really sore and really red and just achy, and I finally just decided to have the surgery, and Dr. Moy was recommended to me by so many people. I would say, oh, I'm going to have bunion surgery, and they say, oh, I have this great doctor, and I'd say, is it Dr. Moy? And they'd say, yeah, how did you know? I said, well, so many people have told me about him. So I was very, very confident when I went in for the surgery. I was not afraid whatsoever.
Right.
And as soon as I had the first surgery done, I scheduled the second surgery. But while I was recovering, I had never run a marathon before, and just seeing everyone out there running, I just had this inspiration to run a marathon, and I knew I could do it then because I was pain-free.
So let me get this right. You weren't a marathon runner. You were a runner.
Right.
But you weren't doing marathons prior to surgery. Now, after surgery, you're doing a marathon?
Correct.
Wow.
Right. I started training about 6 weeks after my second surgery, and then I went in to have my screw removed out of the second foot, and everyone I was training with said, "Oh, you still have a screw in your foot?" And I said, "Yeah, it's coming out, on Saturday." And so it was great. I had no pain after my surgery, and I have been pain-free ever since, and I'm running my fourth marathon in 2 weeks. So
oh, congratulations. Well, now we have another extreme example of an athlete after bunion surgery. Michael McConnell has participated in the legendary Ironman triathlon multiple times. Ironman is no ordinary athletic event. This race involves swimming over 2 miles, then getting on a bike and riding over 100 miles. And if that's not enough, running a 26-mile marathon to top it off. Michael is one of Dr. Moy's patients who actually had both bunions removed at the same time. We are fortunate to have a taped interview with him, so let's take a look.
The decision to have them removed was always in the back of my mind. It was just a scary thought. I had a lot of people say, well, we've had situations where the feet are more painful after the surgery. So this was always in the back of your mind, like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to have them removed and now my feet are going to be worse, so can I deal with the pain? So that was honestly in the back of my mind for a long time. Like, I can deal with this, but it was getting to the point where it was just like I said, I wanted to do another Ironman. Wasn't going to happen. I would have been limping across the line rather than just cruising across the line. From an athletic standpoint, my feet are no longer an issue. So if I want to run a marathon, if I want to run an ultra marathon, that is not a concern of mine that my feet are going to be a problem, other than maybe blistering or something, but it's not going to be this dreadful, painful limping thing that would happen if I still had the bunions on them and they were rubbing up against my shoe, and my big toe was causing a blister on my next toe over because it was leaned up against it, and just not having that is great. I did this in September 2 years ago and went in at 6:30 in the morning. Don't remember going into the operating room, came out with a pair of boots on, and in all honesty, didn't even take any of the medication that he'd prescribed for me. So, and 3 days later was in the gym doing leg extension, leg curls, people coming up asking me if those were new type of workout boots that I had on. So that's kind of, and it was a pleasant relief walking out of that operating room knowing that those things were off my feet. It was a really pleasant feeling. So by Christmas, I was back up to running 30, 40 miles a week and no problem, and running on, mostly trails and wooded trails and that sort of thing, up in the hills. So tough terrain, stuff that would be challenging for your feet. But I'm really thankful that I had them taken off. And it's a life-changing decision. And it's one that, I definitely wish I had not put off for so many years. But then again, I didn't know Dr. Moy, so here we go. In all honesty, I'm happy to do this infomercial just because, I totally believe in what he did. I've not had any problem with my feet. Like I said, I had very, very little pain, if any, after the surgery. So, what more can I say? It's go to Dr. Moy and get it done.
And thank you, Michael, for the added inspiration and for showing us that anything's possible when you're living life beyond bunions. Now, girls, that's a very moving video. Any comments?
I'm glad that I wish I hadn't put mine off for so long because, as you mentioned, it's exactly what you think. You put it off, you're afraid, you don't know what to expect, and until you meet Dr. Moy and feel comfortable and confident that the result is going to be good.
Right.
From a runner's perspective, when he talked about he wouldn't be able to cross the finish line if he ever tried to do another one, that's how I would feel after a run before I had the surgery. And now my feet are not my issue. my hamstrings and my glutes are, so I just wish that Dr. Moy could do something about those.
Maybe he has some magical touch.
Oh, and he does.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. I do have to say that Dr. Moy is the key word here.
Yes.
All right. When we come back, we'll get a look inside Dr. Moy's surgical technique and find out what makes it so different and so much better. Stay tuned.